Very unusual IPO, though, in the sense that if you're not selling, other people might not be either, and then I've got no idea how big this IPO is going to be. What do you think of the strategy to do it this way?
Yeah, I think that's the mystery, that's the plus and the minus of it. So we don't know exactly how many shares will come to market, but it's a two-sided market. So I'm sure there will be sellers, there will be buyers. So you have to really believe in the music industry. You have to believe in the B2C companies. The track record has been kind of dicey with Snap and all that. So I'm sure there are some bearish guys as well, bearish investors. But overall, I expect a good IPO.
Mark Lehmann, I want to bring you into the conversation at JMP Securities. What's your view on the actual approach to this IPO of Spotify?
Well, obviously it's unique and it's specific to the company, and this is the listing. It kind of needs to take place given some of the dynamics of where the capital structure of the company is. So it's not too surprising, and it's a little different. I think over time you'll see some secondary shares come to the market, sometimes in blocks and other places, but it's very unique to the company. I don't think it tells you anything about the overall health of the tech IPO market, which we think is quite strong at JMP, and you're going to start to see some real examples of that this month and beyond, given the backlog that we've seen so far.
You mentioned the story of them doing really, really well, but if you think about the difference between them and Netflix, they've got to hand over, I think, 70% of sales to the music rights holders because they don't produce any of their own content. So maybe the differentiating factor is that Netflix can do their own content and Spotify can't. Is that a limitation?
It is in the near term because they're limited by their contracts with the music labels to do their own content, their own programming. But down the road, I'm sure they will work out some kind of arrangement with the labels and the publishers. So I think that's a limiting factor. They keep 30 cents on a dollar every time. So I think that's a big, but they will work around it.
Mark Lehmann, the revenue growth is stunning for the likes of Spotify. We've got plenty of insiders, Santosh points out, on the numbers themselves. But the margins, if you look at the margins and the amount people are actually paying to use the service, the average number isn't that great. In fact, as far as I know, I think it's been dropping, Santosh. It's not been climbing. So, Mark, is that a difficulty, a headwind, as you look to push forward the view on this company?
Well, I think the analogy to Netflix is a difficult one, and you've brought that out. I mean, Netflix is kind of a have-to-have. Spotify sounds to be sort of a want-to-have. I mean, I'll use my personal family as an example. We are an Apple Music family. We pay our $14.99 a month. We sent a text around to the family, said, who wants to switch to Spotify? And we kind of had a 3-2 vote. We didn't have a 5-0. Netflix, if we got rid of, I'd probably be taken out of the family. So I think there's a large difference between the two, and they've got to prove that, that you want to own this service, and right now, you don't. You don't have to own it. And I think it's well run. They got some great insiders. They got some great investors right now who are on the board, and I think they're doing the right thing for the listing, but they got to prove that you have to have it.